Last year, you have learned about the ways to interpret the dispersion of ungrouped data based on stem and leaf plots and dot plots. In this chapter, you are going to learn measure of dispersion for grouped data. So before we learn about the measure of dispersion for grouped data, we need to learn how to construct histogram and frequency polygon for a set of grouped data. Example 1. The data on the right shows the height to the nearest centimeter of a group of 5 pupils. A. Determine the class intervals for the data if the number of classes required is 6. Before we determine the size of the class interval, first we need to determine the largest data value, which is 173, and also the smallest data value, which is 145. If the number of classes is 6, then the size of each class interval is 173 minus 145 divided by 6. And you will obtain 4.7. When you round off, it is equals 5. Therefore, the class interval are from the smallest number, 145. Then you count 5. So 145, 146, 147, 148, and 149. So means 149 here. After 149 is 150, right? So 150 to 154. Followed by 155 to 159. 160 to 164. 165 to 169. And also 170 to 174. B. Construct a frequency table based on the information in A. Hence, complete the frequency table with the lower limit, upper limit, midpoint, lower boundary, and upper boundary. Okay, so we start with 145 to 149. 150 to 154. 155 to 159. 160 to 164. 165 to 169. And the last one is 170 to 174. Okay, so 145 to 149. What is the frequency? Means we need to find how many numbers between 145 to 149. Okay, so normally I will use tally method. So start with 153. So I put the tally at the side. Okay, so it's here. 168. Okay, it's here. 163. 157. 158. 161. 165, 162, 145, 150, 158, 156, 166, 163, just now 160, 163, 152, 155. For number 5, you just cross like this. Means one bundle we have 5. Okay, so 158, 173, 148, and 164. Okay, so from here we fill in the number, the frequency. So here is 2, 150 to 154. We have 3 number in this data. 155 to 159, we have 6. Here we have 5, 3, and 1. Okay, so what is the lower limit? Lower limit normally is here, the number at the front. Then upper limit is the number at the back, here. Okay, so we can write the lower limit and upper limit now. Okay, here lower limit is 145, here 149. Okay, so lower limit just fill in like this. Upper limit, okay, what is midpoint? Midpoint is the number that at the middle. Okay, for 145 to 149. So I write here 145, 146, 147, 148, 149. The number at the middle is midpoint. But if every time we list out like this, take time. So normally we will count like this. The first number means the lower limit plus the upper limit divided by 2. So you will get 147. Okay, same as the second row, 150 plus 154 divided by 2. Equals 152. If you know the pattern already, actually you can straight away write here 157 followed by 162. Here is 167 and 172. Okay, so what is lower boundary? Okay, so lower boundary actually is here. At the lower limit there, the number before lower limit is 144. So this one we call it as boundary. So between 144 and 145 is 144.5, correct or not? So the lower boundary is 144.5. Okay, so here, second row, before 150 is 147. So 147.5. And now you know how to get the lower boundary, right? So the next number is 154.5, 159.5, 164.5. The last one is 169.5. Okay, and upper boundary is the boundary after the upper limit. So after 149, the number is 150, right? So in between here, this one we call it as upper boundary. Upper boundary for first class interval is 149.5. Next, 154.5, 159.5, 164.5, 169.5, and the last one is 174.5. Example 2. Construct a cumulative frequency table from the frequency table below. If given the data already very simple, you just copy down. So the first class interval is 10 to 19, followed by 20 to 29. Then you continue. And frequency also you just copy to this table. 4, 5, 8, 7, 3. Okay, how to get the cumulative frequency? Cumulative frequency is you accumulate all the frequency before. Okay, so it's like this. 4, before 4 we don't have any number. So is 4. The cumulative frequency is 4. And here 4 plus 5 equals what? 9, right? Here we write number 9. The number before, the total of the number before plus 8. So what is the sum of 9 and 8? 17. And we repeat the same thing. 17 plus 7 equals 24. 24 plus 3 equals 27. Example 3, the frequency table below shows the speed of cars in km per hour recorded by a speed trap camera along a highway in a certain duration. Represent the data with a histogram and frequency polygon by using a scale of 2 cm to 10 km per hour on the horizontal axis and 2 cm to 10 cars on the vertical axis. So before we draw the histogram and frequency polygon, we need to complete the frequency table. So just write down the number. Reviewing all the class interval. Okay, number of the car also already in the table, so just copy down. still remember how to find the midpoint. The lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So now the midpoint, you have the decimal, which is 74.5. Okay, so you repeat the same thing, you will obtain 84.5, 94.5, 104.5, 114.5, and 124.5. Okay, still remember lower boundary, how to find? Here, right, the boundary is here. So what is the lower boundary? Before 70 is 69. So the boundary is here. So 69.5. If you're not sure, just 69 plus 70 divided by 2, you also can obtain 69.5. Okay, so upper boundary, a lower boundary for class interval 80 to 89 is 79.5, 89.5, 99.5, 109.5, and the last one is 119.5. So same as upper boundary. After upper limit, 79.5, 89.5, 99.5, 109.5, 119.5, and the last one, 129.5. Quite simple, right? Okay, so now we need to represent the data with a histogram and frequency polygon by using scale of 2 cm to 10 km per hour on the horizontal axis. Okay, first you must know where is horizontal axis. Okay, this one we call it as horizontal axis. Okay, this axis is vertical axis. Okay, so the scale for horizontal axis is 2 cm to 10 km per hour. And for vertical axis, 2 cm to 10 cars. Okay, so here actually I plotted already 2 cm. You assume this one, the size is 2 cm, 2 cm to 10 units. So means that here after 10 is 20, after 20 is 30. So for the horizontal axis, the scale is 2 cm to 10 km per hour. But you cannot start with 10 km per hour. If you start with the number 10 km per hour, your graph not enough for you to plot the point or draw the bar. Okay, so now the first number you look at here, the first lower boundary is 69.5. So I will put here the first one here 69.5. Okay, then the next is 79.5. Okay, so 69.5 to 79.5. The number of cars is 5. Yeah, this is the first bar. Okay or no? Okay, so the second bar, the lower boundary is 79.5. We plotted already. Then 89.5. Okay, this is the second bar. Okay, so now third, so 89.5 and upper boundary is 99.5. Okay, so this graph we call it as histogram. Okay, after we completed this one, okay, next is 99.5 lower boundary, upper boundary is 109.5. Okay, so this is the next part. Of course, you also can write all the lower boundary and upper boundary, then only you draw the histogram. Okay, it's up to you. So let's say here after 109.5 is 119.5. After 119, after 199.5 is 129.5. After I write every number here on the x-axis or horizontal axis, then only I draw the bar. It's okay. Okay, so this is histogram. Okay, so now how to draw the frequency polygon is very simple. Okay, class interval before 70 to 79 is 60 to 69. So the midpoint is 64.5. So this is the midpoint of 64.5. Because for frequency polygon, you need start the graph with frequency 0. Okay, so you start from here, the midpoint you plot. After that, this one 69 point lower boundary 69.5 to 79.5. The midpoint is 74.5. So at the middle here, so you plot here. Okay, so you plot all the midpoint, and don't forget plot the midpoint at the horizontal axis again, this part, because for frequency polygon, start with frequency 0 and with frequency 0 also. So plot here also. And after you plot all the points, then you need to use your ruler to join all the points like this. Yeah. So this is how we draw the frequency polygon. Example 4, the frequency table below shows the time in seconds recorded by 20 participants in a qualifying round of swimming competition. Represent the data with a frequency polygon by using a scale of 2 cm to 5 seconds on the horizontal axis and 2 cm to 2 participants on the vertical axis. Okay, so first thing, we construct the frequency table, and this time we no need to draw the histogram. So the number of participants is 2. So to construct the frequency polygon, you better add a class interval with 0 frequency before the first class and after the last class. Okay, 50 to 54, right in second row. You add a class interval before the first class. Okay, so here the number of participants is 2. I fill in first. 55 to 59, 3, 60 to 64, 6, 65 to 69, 5, 70 to 74 is 4. Okay, so the additional class interval here, the frequency is 0, then last row also 0. So what is the class interval for 50 to 54? Okay, so before 50 is 49, right? Okay, so what number to 49? 45 to 49. Okay, here 74. After 74 is 75. So 75 to 69. Okay, again, you find the midpoint. Still remember how to find the midpoint? The number lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So you will obtain here 47. So here 52, I just calculate for you. 57, 62, 67, 72, and 77. After completed the frequency table, now we need to draw the frequency polygon. When we draw the frequency polygon measure, we follow the scale. Okay, so here we draw the vertical axis and horizontal axis. Okay, we try to write the title of this graph, time recorded of participants. Okay, for the horizontal axis is times in second. In vertical axis is number of participants. You must remember for vertical axis always represent the frequency. So we write. Okay, so must remember horizontal axis 2 cm to 5 seconds, but we cannot start with 5. We only can start with the first midpoint with the 0 frequency, which is 47. Okay, to draw the frequency polygon, we always use midpoint at the horizontal axis. Okay, the next is 52. Okay, so when you check the midpoint between 47 to 52, the difference is 5. That is the meaning 2 cm to 5 seconds. So the next 57, 62, 67, 72, okay, and for the vertical axis 2 cm to 2 participants. Okay, this one you must always follow the number given. If here is 2, you start with 2. You cannot change. And here always start with 0. For vertical axis, you start with 0. You cannot simply start with other numbers. Okay, so here 2 plus 2 is 4. The maximum number is until 6, right? So you label until 6. If you want to write add also, never mind. Okay, so now after we complete the horizontal axis and vertical axis, we start to plot. Okay, midpoint with midpoint for 47 with frequency 0. Okay, 52, frequency is 2. 57, frequency is 3. 62, frequency is 6. 67, frequency is 5. 72, frequency is 4. And 77, frequency is 0. Okay, after you plot all the points, use your ruler to join all the points like this. Okay, so you already draw a frequency polygon. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and share my video to your friends. See you!